Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I love the fact that as soon as we went on the break before, there was a conversation about how, like, Rick was like, yeah, I just remembered that we're supposed to get somebody off that vessel, and Aaron called out
Basically, half of us at least, like, forgot that we're here for the pilot, and it's just like, oh yeah, they have a good pilot, they need a good pilot, you know, they're pirates. It's like, oh, yeah, we're here for that pilot.
That was the thought process, like, oh, you know, you've got to be good pilot to have a pirate ship. That's, you know, oh, shit.
Like, I remembered we were here for a guy. I didn't remember we were there for the guy.
Oh.
So that was a thing.
That's definitely the right wording.
Anyways. Hi, everybody.
This chocolate bar says on the back, know your servings in big words, like really dramatically, and it says 1 bar equals 1 serving.
Oh.
Why does it need to be so dramatic about that? Sorry. Weirded me out enough that I needed to vocalize it.
I really want a tangent about that, but I'm going to not. Let's just say it involves Michelle Obama. Okay, moving on. So back to the game. So you guys shoot them down, come up to them, weapons like all aimed at them. You know, probably top side down, so it's one of those like your guardian system's not as effective on this side of the vessel. Good luck. And open up comms. Who is going to speak as comms open? What's the frequency? What's the hail you're sending?
I'll let one of the humans do it because I am going to.
There's only one human.
I'll let one of the meat bags do it because I'm gonna swoop back into my big old siege body and head over to one of the airlocks.
I'll just slide it over to Carmine.
Alright. I'll just basically send them something like, lower your shields and prepare to be boarded.
So when you say that,
That seems aggressive.
yeah.
Well, the space battle didn't give it away. It's the message we sent that's really like, yeah, we're not happy with you.
The response from the ship is Krogan, of course, and is like, What? Why are you attacking us? You want to split the booty?
We want your pilot.
What?
We want your pilot.
Clearly put on like mute. Conversation that happens there for a while. And he comes back, he's like, why?
We have a job
Well,
for him.
Frankly, it surprises me that a Krogan like you even wants to hang out with us, Laren, for that long. Thought you'd have capped him by now already. We need him for something. You're gonna give him over if you want to get out of here alive.
Alright. You coming on board?
Yes. Don't try anything.
Definitely not gonna happen. It's Cos.
I'm gonna be dragging my railgun behind me like on its own rope.
Do you want me to give you the railgun now or after?
All right, yeah, you're putting on your seatbelt. Yeah,
carrying-
just hold it in a ready-to-fire position. Just walking behind me.
I can
No
put
respect,
it in my
railgun.
arms for now. Yeah, of course. The bad guys aren't aware that I am worst shot ever in the world. But I mean, if you
We
miss
bring
the
a siege
railgun,
tank.
then-
Krogans respect siege tanks.
That's true. That's true.
So
They also hate Solarians, so you know.
They hate most people. So you guys line up your airlock to theirs, and then have your airlocks together, and that's what happens. They're like, beep.
Have you ever seen airplanes refuel in the air? That's it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
real.
You just gotta touch the tips.
Touch tips.
Just a tip.
It's called docking.
So you guys, sorry, you guys. This is a beautiful double entendre, Ollie. So you guys go and dock with the other vessel. You lock up the airlocks, and when you go down to the area, how are you positioned? How are you prepared for when the
Siege
door
tank
opens?
with the big fuck-up railgun goes first.
Yeah, I think I'm taking point.
I'm second behind with, like, all my guns.
Constantina should probably stay in the pilot seat.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Really?
I'm really good
I would
at
have put the
combat.
weapons like locked onto them and
But-
ready to go if need be, but
But if all of us leave our chairs and go into the pirate ship, all it takes is one vulture to scramble past.
It is true, but I'm arguably the best at killing people in close range out of all of us. And when I say arguably, it's not arguably at all.
No, it's fact. It's very factual. Well, I mean, you could have the vulture hold down the bridge if you want, who is just the vulture. He doesn't have a name or anything.
Can we not have the AI do it? Or the VR? Yeah.
That's true, but the VI would be back in control
Yeah.
of the ship.
I would be more than happy to do that for you, Captain.
There you go.
but who is the captain?
Whoever has been designated. Icolas. Lucinia. Captain Lucinia. I'd
She's
be more
very
than
much
happy
the
to do
Captain
that.
Carmine.
Look at her, she's the captain now.
Okay, that's
All right.
very old
So,
joke,
yeah.
Carmine.
I'm gonna go because
It's an older joke, sir, but it checks out.
it's gonna be a combat. So
You guys.
And no, I think
I'm
you.
gonna have to punch some Krogan.
I'm sorry, I watched about 3 episodes of the Orville, and I already think that the comedic aspect of this ship is 1,000 times better than that terrible show. So, I don't know if you've ever seen it. No, it's.
I know it's a thing.
Seth
I know
MacFarlane.
people were like, "Oh my god, it's so much better than new Star Wars Discovery." I never watched it. I
It-
never watch anything.
Did you see Star Wars Discovery?
He meant Star Trek. He meant Star
I know.
Trek.
Yeah, whatever. Death Star.
It's like it tries to be not. It doesn't matter. So it's just not good. So, anyways, so you guys go and but you also liked Star Trek Discovery, which is also terrible. So
I like Star Trek Discovery.
yeah, they're both.
It's okay to
bad.
be
I'm probably gonna like Solo: A Star Wars Story.
A lot of people like it, from what I understand.
Like every new Star Wars movie, it's controversial.
It just didn't have a lot of interest, I think, going into it.
I don't have any interest to see it. I will. But,
I haven't talked to anybody who was like actually excited about the movie.
yeah,
So
it's okay. I don't even know if I will watch Boba Fett. But we're tangenting still. So let's go to the doors open up. Because that's how doors open in Mass Effect. So the doors open up, and what you see on the other side is there are 5 Krogan, all standing in a room. 3 of them leaning up against an object that instantly all 3 of you can tell is a bomb. But they're totally leaning up against it, like they're hiding the fact that there's a bomb behind them, and you would totally believe that it's not. And then there's one standing adjacent to a Solarian, and another one that's standing there like with his arms crossed, that's clearly in front of you, also hoping that his large form would be enough to obscure the fact that there's a bomb back there. And he's standing there like, just glowering at you guys. The door opens, doesn't say anything.
I walk up to him. So, that's JJ, I assume?
You know, pointing over at the other one. Yeah.
Right. Is he gonna come over here today? Or we're gonna have to make him?
Just, why'd you have to attack the ship?
Well, he wasn't
would you
gonna
have
leave for no
given us
reason.
your pilot otherwise?
Lucinia says that. Would you have given us the pilot otherwise? You know, he looks over at the Torian, and you can clearly tell he's looking at a Torian. So there's actually slightly more respect in his disrespectful look than this meat thing in front of him. And he says, maybe.
We'll hand him over now and no funny business.
Well, now you broke my
And you
ship.
can all go.
I don't have fuel. I don't think I can go anywhere.
You're alive.
But I don't have fuel. So you're
The
taking
galaxy is your oyster.
you're taking my pilot and leaving me with a broken leg. And it may be a Krogan ship, but it don't heal the way we do.
We have a Vorcha engineer we can give you.
Vorcha.
Might be able to
Engineer.
fix your ship up enough to get you limping.
That's
And
I
I
don't
have
recommend it.
I have a plastic plate you can use for a bomb.
You have an actual bomb.
Where?
Please.
It's like the worst lie. Where?
I don't even dignify it with a response. I just stare at him.
He thinks he got
In
away
your
with it.
like HUDs, Nicholas asks, "Do you both have your vac suits?"
Yeah,
just
yeah,
do.
yeah. For some reason, conveniently, yes, I would be in my suit.
Yeah, that's all.
Just
You gonna give me some fuel? I can patch up the engine, but I need fuel, not Vorcha. Vorcha aren't fuel, unless you're really hungry.
Do we have fuel to give him?
Honestly, you guys' fuel is actually getting a little low, if I remember correctly.
Melee?
but we're not flying our ship, so that doesn't matter.
Oh, it's true. So technically, yeah, you do have fuel. Yeah, you have 2 out of 7 left on your ship, but yeah, you do have fuel in this vessel. Absolutely.
Deal.
So you give me some fuel. You give me 3 loads of fuel, and I'll give you JJ.
Would that be enough for us to get back to Omega, Scott?
More than enough. Yeah, your ship can actually hold 12 fuel, and you only need for this jump 2.
Do you have a deal?
Oh, all right. And so more or less he like you can tell like the way he does things, like more or less he steps back for like the door to shut, like, okay, well, we're not giving you him yet until the fuel's been transferred, but like obviously he seems like he's going to do like the honorable Krogan thing of, you know, upholding the deal. So more or less go back to your ship until you figure things out. So you guys all go back to your own vessel.
As soon as we're out of visual range, I'd like type on the Omni tools like, Arya's
talk
probably
to-
not going to be happy if they get away.
Hmm.
Although we did stop them from attacking the ship, who's to say that they will, you know, not be a thorn in her side later down the line?
I don't think she explicitly told us to kill them. She just told us to send them a message.
No.
No, we were sending a message to the people we saved.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless I solved the problem with these guys, which was
See, my idea is to just decouple after we're done with the fuel and just shoot them anyway, because they're pirates. Like, Carmine would probably normally have issues with this, but these are Krogan pirates. So that's like, you know, they're the scum of the earth.
I can break their airlock. They're Krogan. It won't kill them. It'll slow them down.
But as a reminder, Arya did explicitly say, you know, more or less, let the humans know they owe Arya. Get JJ for yourself. Kill all the rest.
Yeah.
and I wasn't happy about that, but then we had discussion about it and you were like, they're awful people. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still awful people. Even when we're like, hey, we're leaving you alive, it's like, but what can I get out of it?
A hug.
Okay.
Okay.
Then, so we're gonna give them fuel, then take JJ, then shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So you guys go over it. It doesn't take long. You have the Vorcha goes out there. The Vorcha barely wears a spacesuit, goes out into space, hooks up their fuel line to yours, and then you know, you guys take care of dump over. Like I said, it holds 12. You have 10 left. You drop it down so your vessel has 7 fuel left, which is, again, you only need 2 to get all the way back home, so you're fine. So you go all the way. You pump them over the 3 fuel. Get it all set up. Hop back on comms. Like, all right, fuel's been transferred. It's like, yep. And you, of course, you go over down to the airlock area, and airlock opens back up. So this time, once again, the airlock's opened up, and he's like, "So you're taking my pilot? Was that really a Vorsha that was out there? That hooked everything up?
Yes.
All right. You take JJ, we'll take the Vorcha. That's the deal."
We
At this
already
point,
had it.
Carmine puts a hand on a shotgun. You don't want to be reneging on the deal. Trust me.
I don't know what that means, but the deal was JJ for Vorcha.
The deal was
JJ
JJ for
for
fuel.
The fuel is because you broke the ship.
I'm gonna just try to intimidate him.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I would like to assist with that.
Yeah, okay, Aaron, he's going to assist with you. So, because of the fact that you guys are actually rather intimidating, I'm going to allow him to give you a 3d6 on this one.
Cool. What am I rolling? Is it talk?
It is technically talk strength or commands charisma. One of those two, whichever's better for you.
Okay.
We have a railgun tank.
Oh! You didn't even drop the 3d6. Roll me another d6 just in case you roll a 6.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
roll a 1d6.
Oh, I thought it was just a +3. I'm sorry. Did I mishear that?
Oh,
Yes.
did you just add a +3?
I just added a +3.
That's
My
fine.
bad.
Then we'll just... Wait, really? Because you rolled an 11 and it's still only a
I
10.
rolled a 10.
Oh, 2 and 4. I was just looking at physical dice. My apologies. So 2 and 4. That's fine. Leave it
fine.
as it is.
Are you
Okay.
sure?
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine because you had a +3, so you know. So, anyways, you say what as you try to intimidate him?
I'm not gonna say anything because he's a Krogan,
Go.
and words are gonna be lost on him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna like buff myself up and just stare at him like very close in the face until he backs down.
Carmine, hold up the shotgun.
And Carmen has the gun. Yeah, beside him.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So he's looking at you, and after like all this bluster and everything, it kind of goes back and forth. It's like a solid like 30 seconds of like stare down, showdown, obnoxious slowness. I'm sure in this amount of time, Lycolis has processed 8 trillion lines of data, thinking, oh my god, these meatbags move so slow, and finally he goes, but I have a bomb.
It won't do much.
You're really not scared of a bomb?
Not at all.
Talking to Lucinia, though obviously Lycolis is responding.
No.
Well, you got a quad on you. I can appreciate that. And he says and gives you like a punch in the shoulder, which is surprisingly hard considering his little T-Rex arms. And
That's such a dumb alien. It's so dumb. The angry turtle men, which if you've read a turtle, is very accurate.
so anyways, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, JJ, you go. And so the Solarian comes walking across and doesn't say anything. Comes walking across and goes into the airlock and behind you guys.
Okay.
Walk back.
Okay. So you guys
I
go
would
back.
like to...
Before we walk back, I tell him, smooth flying to you.
What was that?
Smooth flying
You said
to
it
you.
to the Krogan.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's like, and
Before the doors close, I would like to try and see if I can wirelessly connect to the bomb.
Wow.
make me your decryption check, sir.
Mm-hmm. Shame I'm not in Jack mode, but still.
You are able to uplink to the bomb.
So as like the airlock closes and we start to decouple, I just basically give Carmine a button on his Omni tool.
Do you arm the bomb first? Right.
No, it wouldn't. It would just more be like a connection so we can arm it and set it up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you give Carmen a button.
Yep. Look, I know how it works. Lycolis isn't here to have to deal with the moral problems. If he just lets Carmine do it.
Carmine's gonna get to his seat and like make sure that we're all decoupled properly. As soon as we're making preparations to leave, I send over a short message. Don't fuck with Arya. And I hit the button.
So you send over the short message, don't fuck with Arya. You press the button. As the thing is exploding.
I think they got the message.
And of course, the humans are watching this the whole while. It was funny because the humans were about to engage in the fight when you guys were able to shut everything down. The humans.
Oh, it's about bloody time. It's been like an hour.
Oh, they were going to engage in it back when you were fighting, right? So, but then they stopped because you shut down their ship. So watching all this happen, you see that the Solarian next to you is just kind of like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So he's like, well then, I'm glad that you wanted me after that ship.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're ours now.
Excuse me? What is it that you mean by that?
And Icarus doesn't respond as a VI would. He likes that whole, make people talk to a hunk of metal and then realize they're talking to a hunk of metal routine. He enjoys that.
We just need you to help us with the job.
What is the job that you need help with?
And I'll gesture to Carmine and Icarus because this is really their thing.
We are
This is-
researching ancient Solarian legends, ancient particles. We have an old ship that needs a Solarian pilot. That is one of the best pilots in the galaxy. That is you.
You came highly recommended.
You spoke to my mother, didn't you?
No.
Oh, it's my mother. It's my mother that hired you, is it not?
Not hired.
You're being
Recommended.
Very vague. Recommended. So you went to my mother, and she's the one that told you to come to get me. This is just one of her elaborate ploys to get me to go and marry. I don't want to go and marry that girl. I've told her a hundred times. I do not want to go and marry that girl. This is not something I'm getting into. And then it's like he
Slow
goes
down there, buddy.
off the
We didn't
handle.
hear anything about any marriages. We're not interested in any marriages.
You're not really
goes
getting
off
married
the
if you're going to be
handle.
on our ship.
For like 45 seconds, slips out of English and into Solarian, which is a much faster language. He's kind of like
That
pacing
is
up and down
so
the hallway.
racist.
No, it's a really.
I
fast
get him a
language.
drink while he's at it.
After like 45 seconds of freaking out, which is the same thing as like a human 5 minutes of freaking out, he finally starts to calm down a little bit, and he's like, "Do you understand what I'm trying to say by this?" You guys kind of understood
No.
what he was saying. You give him the drink. He takes the drink, throws it back. What was it?
I don't know. Probably like... I would know something about Solarian preferred drinks in general from my time in the galaxy, I think.
So you get him something that you think he would like, not necessarily something that's like the roughest thing he could get. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like you got him like some Krugen, liquor. Or something
No.
like that.
I don't want to murder him. If I did, I would have just left him there. We would have had more fuel as well, but no.
So you get him the drink. He throws it back. Makes that whole whiskey face, which is funny because they don't have lips. And then he says, "Thanks."
You're welcome.
So she's trying to get me married again. This is very frustrating. What was it that you were trying to do?
Well, I'm not a person for marriage, so we're kind of hoping to avoid that particular bit. We were trying to chase down this ancient folklore particle that you've possibly heard about, and I give him the background info, and it's like,
You say when you
we
possibly
have found...
heard about, and he'll actually interject, saying, "Yes, every night, my entire childhood, every time before I went to bed, I'd hear about it. I also heard about it over breakfast as Mom talked about the research that she was working on at the time. Of course, I'm very familiar."
Right. I'm not going to bother you with the technical crap then. The long and short of it is, we found suggestions that it might actually be a thing, and we're investigating that.
Oh,
We need a good pilot.
I'm trying to put this in a way that you might be able to understand. Being human, that's like if all of a sudden you found a big red pair of pants sitting in your chimney at the end of December. You're giving hopes to a child, and he shakes his head and makes his way over to the bridge. And then as he's walking onto the bridge, he's like, "Ooh," because they're really really fancy.
Icarus, can I connect to this guy's Omni tool?
You'd have to make a check for it.
I'm okay with hacking into it.
Yep.
I will do so. Quite happily.
I commit processing just to hack it. Ooh, 555s is a beautiful check. You succeed.
I just send him the short information dump of the moment I saw it. The moment. The one I showed Lepit. I just sent it to his Omni tool.
He looks So as he's like walking around the thing, eventually he like realizes that there's a message or whatever on a zombie tool. He looks at it, is not interested in the least bit, and then sits in the pilot's
He'll
chair.
look back later.
He sits in the pilot's chair, and he starts to have fun with it. Like instead of like even piloting, there's chunks of dead Krogan flying around. He's just like one Krogan's still alive and kind of like knocking on the side of the hull, but like is not going to last much longer because they're in the vacuum of space and didn't have a helmet on, and he's pressing over all the buttons and set everything up, and he's having a lot of fun, kind of like, oh, extend this out, pull this back in, oh here's a hyper thing for, just having a lot of fun doing that stuff, getting very familiar with the station. He's actually going to spend about 45 minutes or so getting super familiar with the ship before all of a sudden it's like and starts flying you guys back towards, and then he stops in the piloting. Exactly where is it that we're going?
First of all, before we go anywhere, I would like you to fly close to the humans, and I would like to have a word with them.
Oh.
Your targets.
Yep,
But,
heading over in that direction. Go ahead.
Carmine,
We're not
what
gonna
do you
shoot
want to
it.
say to them?
Okay, he's like, not a problem. He goes over there, opens up comms, bink, tosses it over to you guys.
So do you just ignore me when I say that?
You spoke to Karma.
I didn't hear you. I heard you say a thing, but it was so quiet that I didn't get it.
Carmine, what do you intend to say to them?
Not much. I would like to inquire about their mission. I would like to have a private word with the captain real quick. And of course, get the message across.
They already know we're here from Arya.
Yes, but in the commotion, we didn't get to convey it clearly enough. But that is not why I want to talk to them.
It's always polite to give a message twice.
So you go and open up comms, and so seeing that you guys are hailing them, opening comms, they'll actually start off with, again, this is the Humans Editorian vessel, saying, well, dagnabbit, I appreciate the time and that you guys came to do, and then you blew him up afterwards. What was it that happened over there?
What, is he referring to, like, the last moments when we're docked with him?
You were docking them for ages, gave them fuel, and blew them up.
Business. Don't worry about it. But now that everything, the dust is starting to settle, the Krogan are dying of asphyxiation. Would it be possible for me to have a word with your captain on board?
Face to face.
Yes, please.
I'd love to say 1 second, dock up, but after the last ship that you just docked with.
Understandable. If it soothes your concern at all, it will be just me. I would just like to have a quick word with him regarding his mission.
1 second. Silent for like 30 seconds or so. Comes back. All right, prepare for docking.
Much obliged.
And you guys lock up airlocks. When the door opens up, there is there's just one person that's standing to the docking area. And it's actually going to be the captain. Okay.
Would I recognize the insignia and stuff?
You recognize the captains, yes, of course. The person, this is the commander of the ship. However, you don't know this cat. You're not very familiar with this person. You don't know the face, so on and so forth. Okay.
I give him the customary aligned salute.
Okay. And he says, thought I heard a human voice over there.
Name's Carmine. We actually met your Turian counterparts earlier.
Oh?
They were experiencing some issues as well. Let's just put it that way.
What do you mean by issues?
Their ship had been assailed by pirates, much like yours. However, in that case, we were not on time, and we managed to eventually get them out of a hostage situation. They're all fine. None of them have lost their lives, which salvaged the diplomatic efforts that you initiated.
Well, it's a wonderful coincidence that you found both ships, if a coincidence is what it was. Uh, do you think that these two instances were linked?
Possibly. It would be fairly extraordinary if it were to happen that, both ships of the same initiative happen to be targeted at roughly the same time.
People are always trying to instigate Taurian and human uh, armed conflicts. It's a powder keg right now, and everyone's holding a fuse.
You would be correct, Captain. However, it is on my understanding that this mission is very much a secret one. Therefore, the nature of it being exposed to a bunch of pirates and efforts being undertaken to take out both sides of this experiment, if you will, I would just suggest caution.
Foul play. I didn't even think of this. Huh. Well, I appreciate your concerns. That was a beautiful salute you did there. It's practiced. Did you serve?
Used to.
I won't ask. The name's Captain Mavius. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Carmine.
Carmine, huh? Well, I'm glad to hear that you're not a part of the, that you're trying to stop these kind of conflicts from happening. Did I hear a Taurian voice too? Do you have a Taurian aboard that ship?
Correct. I travel with a Turian who is currently engaged in ensuring good relations with the humans and the Turians,
I guess it
to put it shortly.
seems to make sense that it's the two of you that's finding these encounters, and aboard an Asari vessel as well. Traveling with an Asari too.
No, however, an Asari did send us here.
Really? Oh, yes, Arya. If I remember correctly,
Correct.
she's the she-devil over at Omega.
That is correct, Captain.
So what is it that a Navy boy like nope, Marines? What is it that a Marine like you is doing with someone like that?
It's a long story. We needed something off of the pirate ship, which coincidentally brought us here. I would like to say that it was coincidence that we managed to salvage your mission. It is, however, purely coincidental, but one I am most happy to undertake.
I imagine when he started saying Navy boy, Carmine like screwed up his face, like what the fuck, and that's when he corrected it.
I would definitely be a little firmer, like, yeah.
So, anyways, he's like, then again, someone in these stars is looking after us. Someone somewhere out there. Well, Arya then. Arya it is. Appreciate the message. Appreciate the aid. I'm glad to hear that you're still doing some good in the name of the Alliance. Well, at least to the benefit of the Alliance.
I might not agree with your methods, but we have to stick together. We have to cooperate. Much like us and the Turians.
Yes, we need to get away from this xenophobic mindset. We need to stick together. We need to cooperate is right, but it's more than just human to human. Faith to faith. It also needs to be all the Citadel races together. Seems as though there's more than enough big and bad, awful things out there. You can use all the friends that you can get.
Exactly.
Besides, you ever get a fist fight with a Taurian?
They pack a mean punch. I've seen her in action. The result's not pretty.
Seen a Taurian rip a man in half. All right. Well, thank you again for your assistance. My ship's a bit beat up, but nothing that we can't patch up and head back. We made sure that we kept on hand a Taurian engineer to assist with any of the major issues that might come along, and everyone's doing fine. Some injuries. No one died.
Good to hear. If anyone's in critical state, I could assist with triage. However, it sounds like you have everything under control.
We'll be fine. It's pretty good medical facilities on Taurian vessels. It seems they really do. They take care of their own. Their people aren't numbers. They're people.
They're known as the strongest military in the galaxy for a reason.
Because a wound makes you stronger, not weaker. It's a wonderful mindset. It was a pleasure meeting you, Carmine. I have many duties to get to. And I'll actually,
It's been a pleasure, Captain. Safe travels.
give you like a salute, like even though clearly you're way lower rank than him, it was like a respectful thing. And and so he will turn and go back. Door shuts, breaks off. Icarus hacks into their systems and blows them up, and then you guys fly away.
And then we scoop up all the fat loot. No, just...
Of course, jettison your cargo bay, and then I kill you. Ha 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 ha. So you guys
give us your pilot too.
Where is it exactly you guys were heading to? Are you heading straight all the way back to Terra Nova?
I mean,
let's
Omega
go
first.
back to Omega
give
first.
the ship back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
This is definitely a rental.
This is definitely.
I mean, I'd love to keep it, but we'll get whacked.
Yeah.
Oh, Arya, you can have your ship. Just come get it. I mean, thanks for
Arya,
letting me-
you'll get your money.
So you guys.
I mean, I'll go out in a blaze of glory, sure. But...
shoot off and get yourself all the way back to Omega. Approaching Omega is a little bit different than any time you've ever approached Omega before. As a passenger, pilot, part of a crew, whatever it has been for any of you peoples before. It's very different as you approach Omega this time. When you start flying towards Omega, every ship gets out of the way. Not a single ship scans your ship as you're flying. And so on. It's literally one of those wonderful things where even your ship interfaces with Omega itself, which gives you coordinates for all of the available docking places that you're welcome to take, which is, by the way, is 98% of Omega, including many taken spaces. So you can select which space you would like your ship to dock at. Where would you like your ship to dock?
Shortest walk to the Aria, right?
I think the best place to park it would be where we took off from, which is basically like Arya's private hangar.
I mean, that's the logical answer.
Okay.
Yeah. I would also walk up to JJ while he's flying to Omega and appreciating the fact that he's basically God there now in traffic control. Just put a hand on his shoulder and just tell him, like, do yourself a favor. Try not to be seen.
Okay.
Mask and sensors.
And so
You specifically.
Yeah. No, he got it. He understood.
Okay.
He puts on his Jedi cloak. And so you guys go flying into the hangar, and you actually can take the same exact spot you flew out of if you want to. And so you land there, dock. Everything is super smooth. As a matter of fact, Sid was a great pilot, but a kid. This settled down, you didn't even feel it. You didn't feel a thing. Even as you entered into the gravitational pull of the asteroid and everything, you didn't even feel a thing. So you guys land, no problems, and doors open up. You know, obviously transfer of airs. Door opens up, and you can walk out onto the docking area.
I would suggest that Icarus take our Jedi Master to his new ship, while me and...
Our ship isn't here.
You have to get
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We have to go get passage back. I don't know.
Well,
if
we're
we can-
definitely not bringing him to Aria.
Arya knows that we getting him.
Yeah, but she also doesn't want to see him.
Well,
'Cause,
why don't
you
we
know,
hold him here and then someone can ask Arya if we can get passage back to Terra Nova?
There you go. So who's gonna?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll go to see Arya just to get passage back to Terra Nova. I mean, I probably want a meat bag with me. For a
I'm definitely going with you.
Constantina, you're gonna babysit.
I'll say yeah.
I was gonna say babysit.
Awesome. So Constantina's gonna stay here and babysit. The two of you are gonna go ahead to speak with Arya. So you guys go back there and you go to meet with her. This time, unlike the other times, you're actually forced to wait for about an hour or two. It's honestly one of
No,
those things
I
where-
do that, and I'm going to use for the first time and maybe only time my foci ability authority to just go up to the guard and be like, "We are here to see Arya now," and they're not hostile with me. They do what I say.
Okay. So you walk up to them, and they're like, "It's gonna be an Arya. You're gonna have to wait a little bit." And you're like, "We're gonna speak to Arya now." And so he looks you up, and he's like, "All right." You know, more or less like one of those your funeral / she was expecting you anyways sort of a thing. So he goes over and steps past, and when you guys go walking into where Arya is, she's actually sitting there on the couch with a human female, and she's kind of like leaned over on the couch, whispering something into the female's ear. Her hand
Into her ear.
her air.
Into her, just speaking down her throat. Into her lungs.
Into her ear, her hands resting high up on the outer thigh of one of her legs and whatnot. It's clearly a very, very intimate moment that you guys are kind of barging in on. And so when you guys go when you guys go walking in with the guard and she hears that, she like, you can clearly tell every part of her just stops. Like, whereas like she was whispering something and the human was like kind of giving, not a giggle, but like a little laugh to what it was that she was saying, you could tell every ounce of her stops, and the human she was like leaning over to like looks up and makes eyes with the guard. There's this awkward silence for a solid 2 seconds, whereas the guard also notices him and whatnot, and then her hands come sliding off of the woman's thigh. She turns and she looks at the guard and says, "Was that really that smart?" And then as she stands up, she hoists him up in the air with biotic power and just throws him over her head and down and into the crowd below, where there's like a sickening smash into the crowd of people below. Probably hit a good number of people. There's huge amounts of screams and everything. After there's like a bit of chaos going down there for about 11 or 12 seconds before the music picks back up and things kind of go back into the rhythm that it was before.
He's already looted by now.
And she looks over at the two of you and she's like, "I do not like being interrupted. What is it that you want?"
Sort of ruined the vibe. And it says, like, looking down at the party.
That doesn't answer my question. What is it that you want?
We've taken care of the problem.
Now we need passage to Terra Nova.
Completely taken care of. The message was
All the Krogan
They were
are
safe.
currently floating around. The humans are aware that it was you who they have to thank for still being alive. And we have what we came for.
Good job, she says, like, annoyed she has to say it. And then what do you want? You're here for a reason, not just to report.
Passage to Terra Nova. We could ask just anyone. We would get cheated on. We would get stabbed. We would get scammed. You know what you're doing. You are someone that can be reasonably worked with. You are someone worth respecting.
Nothing comes for free, whether if you're getting cheated by them or someone else. Fine, I'll get you passage. It'll be quick and safe. But after I'm finished with what I'm doing here, once again bringing back to the fact that you interrupted her, I'm going to spend the evening with you, she says, looking poignantly at Icolas.
Very well.
You're dismissed.
We take our leave.
Turn and leave.
Okay. You guys turn and leave, and as you guys turn and leave, she just stands there. Her arms just are folded at her side. She folds them around, like as she says you're dismissed, like she puts her arms folded and just watches after you guys. You can just feel the eyes on you as you're walking out of the room. It's one of those things where even as you're going down the stairs and there's like the railing area, you kind of like see underneath the railing, that last little bit your eyes can see over the floor. You look up and she's still making eye contact with you as you're walking away. Like she's really boring into you as you're leaving.
I like her.
And then you guys are able to leave the place and go and meet up with Lucinia, which obviously you inform her. Any chitter chatter you guys care to do, or just flash forward a little bit?
No.
I think we're good.
Shopping, anything, or are you good?
Don't have a lot of money.
With what money? Yeah.
We're
Yes.
broke.
That's why we're doing all these things, because people are like, oh, we'll upgrade your thing for doing this quest. Like, yes, please, yes, please.
So flash forward, you meet up with Arya later on. This time, Arya's wearing an entirely different outfit. And when she comes in with you, she's actually wearing an all-white outfit when she meets up with you, Icolas. And she's like...
We match.
She's like, Icolas, I'd like you to come with me. What body are you in?
I only have the sledge with me.
Okay.
I wouldn't have taken the other bodies on the most seedy transport on the way here.
Makes sense. So,
Yeah.
So you, and I remember...
I would leave the railgun.
So, you make your way over with her, and you're making your way through like a room, a hallway with her, until she stands outside of a room and says, "You're leaving in the morning, first thing." It sounded
Very
like,
well.
It sounded like a question, but you're pretty sure it was a statement.
Yeah, exactly. She's just like, he's just very well.
All right then. Sends the coordinates, the person, all the information over to Carmine, Constantinia, yourself, so you guys have the information. As she does that, the door opens up, and you can see that this is actually a room that's specifically designed for working on robots and VIs. And says, "You're too large to sit, so go stand in that area over there. Just like a corner of the room that has a bunch of equipment around it."
I do it.
Okay. We're going to run a couple of tests on you.
Very well.
And so, more or
You
less...
won't find me very interesting, I'm assuring you.
She says, I'm sure that's the case. And so she goes through, she doesn't stay in the room with you. Others come in and take over. Pretty much all Solarians come in and take over and do the tests on you, do a bunch of whole like schematics. They never power you down, not once. You know what I mean? And they never even request it or hint towards it. They just do a whole bunch of like programming.
I would
tests and
like
whatnot.
to be doing what I did before and performing.
Of course, absolutely. Of course, trying to hide your deeper code.
Yeah. Is that perform charisma? Oh, it's the same roll. Never mind. I'll take that.
Will you? You'll take it?
I don't want to use our last party pool of luck on me pretending to be a good boy.
No, you're perfectly fine. So after all said and done, and a bunch of hours have passed, it's getting close to when it is that you need to my apologies. It's getting close to when it is that you need to starting to get together with your crew to actually start transporting out. She's actually going to come and meet up with you again. You're about fully put back together and whatnot. And she says, "The markings in your minds, the coding, it has a signature to it."
Everyone leaves their signature on their work.
There's a lot of signatures on yours. There's a lot of people that have worked on that within you. But the most recent coding, I've seen that before and I know that name.
I'm sure you're mistaken.
I'm not mistaken. I know that name. I know that sign. Where can I find her?
Why?
You as you are useful to me. And so, until such a time that we will work together again, I'm going to leave you be. But you have a counterpart. The humans have another.
You're going to be disappointed if you find her.
I don't think I will be.
Icarus just starts leaving.
You were aware that there was a duplicate, right?
I was not,
The
and I thank you for that.
The original chassis was damaged, but not destroyed.
He stops and turns around.
There's a duplicate, and it's with the Alliance. For whatever that's worth. I think they're working on it. I think they're working on it in Lunar. And I'm trying to get together a team to take it. But it's not going to be worth anything if I can't find her. So if you do get in contact with her, you let her know Arya's looking for her.
Ikelis turns and leaves.
Okay, and so you walk out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
So you go and meet up with the rest of the team, and when you meet up with the rest of the team, you are easily able to go over to your transport. Transport vessel actually is exactly that, a transport vessel. It's literally they transport, EZO. So that's just EZO transportation. They happen to be coming to this region. They're coming through this region for something else entirely different. As a favor to Arya, they're going to pull off. It's going to be like 6 hours out of their way to pull off and drop you off where it is that you guys need to go. Nothing crazy whatsoever. And it's a very safe trip. And the whole thing is respectable. The room sizes are small but comfortable. Ikelis is, this is our personal droid. They're like, okay, well, we'll put him inside storage facility, which isn't a bad thing because he just sits there and moves around inside there. They don't power him down or anything. And so, you guys have no problem getting back to Terra Nova. Okay? So, you guys are finally back on Terra Nova and you have JJ with you. Any conversation you choose to have with JJ along the way?
I am in a closet.
I mean, it's okay. Like, we accept Ikelis for who
Ikelis is very confused.
I mean, again, like, if Ikelis needs somebody to talk to, I hear Lucinia is actually a really, really good friend, But,
I don't know. She hasn't been accepting of Ikelis coming out historically.
I imagine Ikelis just sitting in a room and he's got like this inflatable and he's just tossing it against the wall the entire time.
How long is the trip, Scott?
I think what did I say originally? It was like 48 hours total or something like that.
So if Ikelis is like still like
72 hours.
moping after the second day, I will ask like Carmine, like, is there a robot moping?
Not normally,
Is
no.
he upset?
I don't know. I don't know what happened on Omega. It could have something to do with that.
Should we be concerned?
I don't know if this is the type of thing that... We can always ask, but I'm not expecting an answer. He's been hiding some things, sometimes, which is fine, I guess. You can
How
always ask.
abnormal is it, Scott, for a VI to hide things?
VI hiding things depends on their programming. Emotions specifically, some VI are programmed to come off as being more human-torian, whatever-esque. This one seems to be mostly, clearly you don't know who the designer is, but you know that it has a lot of human-esque qualities to it, and it certainly uses human chassis for the most part. Anyways, it depends on the coding. If it's designed to seem human, it'll portray emotions just to seem that way, but there's usually logical reasons to why it is. Like, for instance, a companion dies. The VI portrays sadness because it wants to, kind of sympathize with you. But if it just portrays sadness on its own, it's like, is there misfiring? And
Right?
did it get hit hard and it's kind of stuck on the wrong mode? They gotta reset it, like power cycle?
My feelings programming is suffering an inefficiency.
Alright, I'll let it go for now. But yeah.
Okay.
I would like to have a word with JJ.
Sure. So you go and meet up with JJ. JJ is actually literally sitting. So the room that they're in, they're sitting there and they're playing on like a handheld gaming device. So you're looking at it and it's actually a human handheld gaming device. I mean, Carmine doesn't play that stuff. He was military and very focused on his guns, polishing the rifle. So he doesn't know what like a DS7 is.
Now that's a proper toy.
That is definitely not how Nintendo's naming system works nowadays. It's probably like the DS Poland I, like, who knows what's up.
It's actually a classic. It's like a Game Boy no color. He's playing the Pokemon Red.
Solarians might not
Blue.
see properly in color, so I guess they wouldn't care.
Yeah. So anyways, he's sitting there playing a human handheld device.
So, JJ, I figured since you're going to be spending a fair bit of time with us, it might be a good idea to get to know each other a little better.
Yep.
There's, of course, one thing that stands out like a sore thumb.
Yep.
I'd like to ask what your mother's been up to with her political scheming and strategical marriages.
No clue.
Right. So you have no clue, and yet you know that she wants to marry you off to someone, most likely.
You don't use electric on rock. What am I doing? What?
I'd just like to know a bit of the backstory, I suppose, because, well, if we're going to be traveling around for a while, I'd like to try to make sure that we don't get you in a situation where your mother's going to be trying to marry you off.
My mother's always trying to marry me. It's just how she is.
Is there any particular reason for that, or?
I'm 27.
Ah, right. You Solarians don't live as long, do you?
No. I'm 27 years old, which means that she's 34 years old. She's coming to the rest of her life.
Cormorant's just like, good God. Right.
It's not my fault she chose to have a child when she was very young. Doesn't mean that everybody else has to have a child when they're young. Maybe I want to have a child right before I die. Maybe that's how I want to leave my legacy. Here you go, free will. Maybe I don't want to leave my legacy at all. Maybe my legacy would be all the things that I've accomplished while I was still alive. Look at this. Look, we're doing wonderful things. We're going to find the edges to the particle, and my name will be put in the history books forever. Wonderful.
Speaking of things you've accomplished in your life, what have you been up to before this? I noticed you were a very good hand at piloting.
That. I'm a wonderful pilot.
Right. Things you probably don't want to talk about then. That's fine. What it's worth, my name's Carmine. I used to serve with the Alliance military for a while before disagreeing with them. And having a run-in with a bunch of humans that are less than, cooperative with the rest of the galaxy.
Similar of an issue with the STG. They have rules. I don't like rules.
Right. If that's the case, and I won't bother asking because you won't tell me anyway. That's fine.
I'm not allowed to if I was found to be divulging STG secrets. Well, let's just say this.
That's, yeah.
Friendly.
I get it. That's fine.
Did you know that all the STG members are bugged?
Really? Makes sense, I guess. Alright, well, I'll be popping down to the bar to get a drink. If there's anything you need, feel free to ask, I guess.
Peace and quiet. Water!
That I can do, and he leaves.
That's what I use. Of course, stupid Geo dude. And then goes back to what he's...
He's pressing buttons very quickly. He must have overclocked that Game Boy.
Of course, Solarian, you know. He just put a Solarian processing chip inside there. It's like moving it super fast. None of that stupid, like, oh, I have to get the bike so I can actually move at a speed that doesn't make me want to fucking eat a bullet. You know what I mean? Like,
You can do that nowadays by running on an emulator on PC.
Well, you can just be patient, you Americans.
I want to play it like it's 1994.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when I was specifically trying to get into combat to level up my Pokemon, I would just not even be paying attention. I just press the up button, the down button, the up button while looking around and doing other things.
Oh, it's okay. Like when you're breeding Pokemon, you just like bicycle around the circle.
Yeah. Like, okay, one day. All right, so anyways, so let's go. You're, you guys get into Terra Nova, you lands there, you come out, and then when you actually get to your ship, and it's been fully upgraded, fully taken care of, the thing's been like cleaned and scraped off, and it's actually been maintained very, very well. It's the best looking the ship has been so far. Still looks like a rusty old, you know.
I was about to say, that's not a very high bar to set.
Yeah. So it still looks good. So it looks better. It's just not still that good. And you guys we're gonna take our next break with you kind of like walking towards the vessel itself. So see you in a few minutes.
In slow mo.